That's the type of tune was no doubt one of the earliest blues that was created as a composition, a playable composition in the city of New Orleans. This tune was wrote about 1902. All the bands in the city of New Orleans played these tunes. That's this tune, I mean. Of course, you may notice the Spanish tinge in it. This has so much to do with the typical jazz idea. If one can't manage a way to put the tinges of Spanish in these tunes, they'll never be able to get the right season, I may call it, for jazz music. There's a man that used to teach me to play piano. I'll have to give him credit for some contribution to this tune. His name was Frank Richards. He was older than I was. He was on the ragtime order, but he was a very good player as far as it went, although he was incapable of instructing anybody along music in the very, that is, for a very short ways. That's all he could go. He couldn't go very far because he didn't know so very much about music himself. But at least in the early days, in my beginning on piano, he was the first one that started my instructions. And I thank him greatly for that. His name is Frank Richards. I mentioned it before, but I want to be sure that you get his name correctly. Frank Richards.
What part of the blues
I claim that his contribution was more in the perfection way. The melodies were all mine, but I believe that he could do much better than I could with it because he made a lot of corrections that probably would have gone maybe haywire. And of course, I've kept the tune ever since. It's one of my first tunes. As I before said, maybe you may be able to notice the Spanish tinge, but you must have a powerful background. For instance, those days they used La Paloma, was one of the great Spanish tunes. You know, New Orleans was inhabited with maybe every race on the face of the globe. And of course we had Spanish people, there are plenty of them, and plenty of French people. Of course, I may demonstrate a little bit of La Paloma to show you that the tinge is really in there. That would be the common time, which gives you the same thing in there. I hope this is quite clear to you. See, only one is the blues. The differentiating in these things, it comes from the right hand. You play the left hand just the same, but of course blues, you get the syncopation in it. It gives it an entirely different color.